Inspirational 105.9 FM. Ona is my name.
My name is Naomi Young.
Well, this morning we return once again to look at issues here in Nigeria, just like what mentioned earlier that we'll be talking Nigerian. Today we'll just go into the petroleum sector. As we know that Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector has become more volatile since fuel subsidy removal and deregulation. Instead of government fixing petrol prices, prices now respond to global crude oil prices, exchange rates, supply costs, competition, among others. While the Dangote refinery was expected to reduce Nigeria's dependence on imported petrol by supplying the local market with refined products, however, the refinery recently said it could no longer continue selling fuel in Naira because it was not receiving enough crude under the Nigerian Naira for crude arrangement and had to source more crude using US dollars. It therefore switched to dollar-dominated pricing for many transactions. Well, even at the same time, the NNPC retail recently increased its pump price, citing higher supply costs, rising international crude oil prices, and market condition. The increase, they say, it reflects the reality that under deregulation, retail prices move with the cost of acquiring and supplying fuel rather than being fixed by government. Well, to have this discussion with us in the studio this morning, we have Mr. Micheal Udofia, who is the Managing Director for Fens Oil Nigeria Limited, Deck Oil Nigeria Limited, the former Chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Calabar Depot, and also presently a member of the National Executive Council of Ibom. He joins us this morning. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning to you, Wana. Good morning to our listeners.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, Naomi.
Okay, well, let's start with price fluctuations. Okay, so recently, after we took a break with when the US came into some agreement with Iran, the Strait of Hormuz was open, we saw prices begin to reduce. But people were concerned that what we were expecting that prices will go back to about 800 naira that we used to buy, but it still stayed above 1,200 naira. And now that the issues are back with US, Iran, and the war has continued, we're seeing prices going up again. So what exactly is the challenge? Talking from a marketer's perspective.
You see, from your introduction, I think you have captured the main ingredients of what is happening in the petroleum subsector, especially the downstream sector. Right from the time government's hands off, fixing prices, that is what is known in Nigeria as removal of subsidy. The sector has been open to, in fact, it is responding to what is happening internationally. When there's a jack up in price of petroleum products internationally, definitely is going to reflect the price model in Nigeria. That is exactly what we have been experiencing. Let me take, for instance, I want to bring it home. As at last week Friday, the gantry price at which we were buying petroleum products from the depots, when I mean gantry price, is the price at which you pay to depot owners to load products, was 1,190 naira. 1,190 naira. But by the time we go back on Monday, marketers did not buy that Friday, go back on Monday to buy, the gantry price was 1,270 naira. You can see within a span of 2 days, you can see the response to the international volatility of crude oil prices, or crude oil price. That's exactly the situation we find ourselves, and I think it will continue to be so, because as far as the Nigerian government is concerned, having had that ugly experience of, making sure that the national economy was drained in the name of paying for subsidy, I don't think any government want to go back to that regime again. So as far as I'm concerned, the price may go up, it may come down, depending on what is happening internationally.
All right. Wana did talk about the Dangote refinery, and we just wanted to know if the marketers and the Dangote refinery are working in synergy or any tussle at the moment.
I think it would be very, very wrong for anybody to say whether we are working in sync with the Dangote refinery. I think in this studio, I have mentioned severally, Dangote is a company, not only a company, it's a private company. It's a private company. So what we do, if Dangote has product, we can go there and buy at the price at which he is willing to sell to us. And we don't have any direct influence into the policies that Dangote is turning out, vis-a-vis the price at which he's selling his product. However, I want to state here that if we go and then maybe the price is X naira, we may now say, okay, you buy it at X naira, maybe your margin for you to recoup your cost and then have a breakthrough is I. You now say X plus I. That's what you will sell in the filling stations. But to say whether we have any problem, definitely, we do not have any problem at all with Dangote refinery. We continue to buy from him, and Wana did mention that whether Dangote is able to weight the local markets. I doubt, because maybe let me put for instance, maybe if prices of petroleum products is going as Y naira in Nigeria, and I feel maybe if I sell it so much outside, nothing stops him from taking that decision. So that is the point. For now, we know that Dangote is a private firm, and he is trying his best to send product to the local economy. Let me say this. In fact, if not for that refinery, I definitely do not know what have happened to our sector at the moment. Why do I say that? We all remember the past experiences we used to have. At times you wake up, you move around Nigeria, you will not see any depot to buy products from. And by the time you come to petrol stations, if maybe one or two petrol stations in New York have product, you can imagine the pressure that will be in those petrol stations. And what will it translate to? It will translate to scarcity. Of course, all of us, we all have that ugly experiences of scarcity of petroleum products in Nigeria from one time to the other. But for since this present administration came to deregulate the sector, you only have that price volatility. As for saying that product is lacking, I don't think, in fact, any way you go to, you see products to buy. The only thing the public is complaining, is the price. But product availability is there all over the country. So I commend this present government for that.
Okay, so let's also understand why we're having marketers, some marketers advocating for renewed fuel imports, even as we have this Dangote refinery. And you've also talked about pricing. So renewing these imports, if we have more importation, does that mean the price automatically reduces? Because Nigerians at the moment will give anything to buy fuel at cheaper prices.
Thank you very much. I want to answer that question by illustrating. If maybe I want to buy, let me say for instance, a Toyota car. I notice that if I buy that Toyota car from Japan, maybe I'm going to save some naira, and rather than buying it from America. So if I notice that maybe if I bring in products from so and so country and bring it to the country, into Nigeria, and I will make some gains, maybe 10 naira, 20 naira, as against the local refinery. Why can't I bring it in? That is what the system is encouraging now. So if marketers are maybe agitating, oh, I want to go and import products, it does not in any way mean that maybe we don't have sufficient products in the country. It is that competition that we have been clamoring for. That's exactly what you are seeing. That's exactly what you are experiencing. So when some marketers are maybe agitating, oh, please can you give me license to import? It simply means that maybe if they import, they are going to make profit. But let me add this. I think to a very large extent, the petroleum downstream sector was completely stagnant. Why was it stagnant? It was stagnant because, you know, the policy of government did not encourage investment in that sector. It did not. So nobody was investing. But with the opening of the system now, a lot of people are investing. And in as far as the investment is not sufficient, we are going to have that, continue to have, oh, can I bring in product from foreign country into the country? But as time goes on, I foresee a situation whereby even like Dangote refinery is on stream now. You have another refinery that is competing with it. You have modular refineries that is coming in. You find that even if you go to import, you will not even see any way to dump that product. That is where such glamoring for importation will be, will be completely erased. That is the beauty. That is the beauty of competition. And that is the beauty of free enterprise. So for now, we are having a free enterprise in the economy, in the sector. And I'm very sure with time, everything will settle. And then, Nigeria will reap the benefits of that free enterprise which I'm talking about.
All right, well, we'll just go on a quick break, and when we come back, we continue.